Thanks, John. Well, as we've heard, the diplomatic mood music has oscillated between the bellicose and the almost benign today. Russia first announced that it was putting fighter jets on combat alert along the border with Ukraine, saying it was prepared to defend the rights of its compatriots. But later, the Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov, spoke to his American opposite number, John Kerry, about possible cooperation to resolve the crisis. Our chief correspondent, Alex Thompson, has this report.
Speak softly, but carry a big stick. Vladimir Putin may or may not know that English saying, and the current military exercise in Western Russia may be long planned. But be in no doubt, Russia's leader and self-styled strongman, the Bear's Bear, is angry and humiliated. This won't help his mood. US Defense Secretary, with no apparent sense of irony, telling Moscow on the one hand not to start a war, and on the other hand that we mustn't inflame tensions.
We expect other nations to respect Ukraine's sovereignty and avoid provocative actions. That's why I'm closely watching Russia's military exercises along the Ukrainian border. And I urge them not to take any steps that could be misinterpreted or lead to miscalculation during a very delicate time.
A time of war games. Moscow said today the US Secretary of State had phoned in pledging Washington's cooperation. By land, air and sea, it's day 2 of the Russian exercise for combat readiness, as Moscow's foreign ministry talks of what it calls massive violations of human rights in Ukraine. The biggest military exercise in Western Russia in recent years, over 150,000 troops, more than 800 tanks from 3 armies. 2 from the Western Military District, the 6th Army headquartered near St. Petersburg, and the 20th Army headquartered in Nizhny Novgorod. The Central Military District has also contributed its 2nd Army, HQ'd in Samara. The Air Force has 90 jets and aircraft, 120 helicopters taking part in its Western Military District, headquartered in Voronezh. And the Navy is contributing 80 combat vessels. These are from the Baltic Fleet, based down in Kaliningrad, and the Northern Fleet, based in Severomorsk. Analysts say imminent direct invasion's unlikely. In Moscow, Putin's background with intelligence circles and special forces suggests something far more politically astute and strategically viable: covert, deniable operations to further destabilize Crimea. Moscow officials are already talking of opening up passport applications to Crimea, where 60% are Russian. If they then demand Moscow's help, Putin could argue that's a legitimate green light to send in the tanks.
Presidium of Local Parliament of Crimean Republic, which is some specific part of Ukraine, they called for a referendum to concede the independence of Crimea from Ukraine. So that might be part of the larger game and another alternative scenario. If they vote, the Kremlin politicians might believe that they would vote for independence from Ukraine and then call for Russian assistance.
Far-fetched? Remember this, just 6 years ago, Russia invited South Ossetians and Abkhazians to apply for passports. They did. Russia claimed she needed then to protect their new citizens from claimed Georgian oppression, and the tanks rolled in that summer.
Alex Thompson.